day 30. Congratulations. You did an amazing job. I really hope that you listened to each one of these videos because they offered you a lot of different advice on things you should think about purchasing, certain kinds of training you should try, and drills that I hope that you've attempted. And it doesn't matter if they were perfect. It doesn't matter if you took on the most difficult part of the challenge, but at least you tried it and at least it got you thinking. That's the main thing. And I'm hoping at some point you'll actually take on some of the challenges if you weren't able to do it in this 30 days. I'm trying to talk to you about the 5-pocket method because it is so important and can be applied to anything that you are doing when we're talking about disaster preparedness. Make sure you have everything you need physically, psychologically, personally. Make sure you have your papers and then, of course, your phone as well. And then we talked about how those 5-pocket methods can be applied to people in your life and your pets, and how it applies to your property and your profession and your priceless items. These are all things that are going to come into effect when you're dealing with a disaster response. So today, I don't have any additional instruction for you, except one thing. Today, you are going to buy your disaster backpack. That is what you are going to do. What I want you to do is take a look at the pile that you've created, and I want you to find a disaster backpack that matches you. Make sure it fits the requirements I talked about on day 1. Don't make it huge with 50 different pockets in it. Make it so that everything is easy to find and things can be rapidly pulled out. But there's a couple of additional things I want to talk to you about. So when you're actually assembling things in the backpack, where do you put everything? Does everything go into one pocket, each pocket? Well, what I want you to do is, it doesn't have to be that every single thing for psychological goes in its own pocket. Each thing for personal goes in its own pocket. It doesn't have to go like that, with one exception. Everything you need physically in the immediate term. So things I was talking about on day 2. Remember, I was talking about breathing, seeing, and moving. Those things should go in its own pouch. Nothing else goes in there. So things like your goggles, things like a mask, and flashlights. Those things will go into its own pouch, and I want it to be easy to find so you can quickly open it and put it on if you have to. That's one of the things that's so important that you should be able to rapidly access it in case you need it during an ESIPL. No matter what, have that quickly accessible. Everything else can be placed in different areas. Try to put them together if you closely can. So put some of the physical things together, put some of the personal things, but it doesn't really matter that much. Things can be mixed up a little bit as long as you can easily find it. Don't just jam everything into one big pouch. You'll never find it all, or you'll find you're having to dump it out, pull something out, put it back in, and that is a huge pain and totally unnecessary. So find a comfortable backpack, and then once you filled it, you need to put it on. I want you to put the backpack on. Is it too heavy for you? Does it hurt your back? These are things you need to consider now, because if the backpack is too heavy for you or you can't move or it hurts you, then that's not a good backpack. And there are a lot of different backpacks for a lot of different kinds of people. I want you to put it in a backpack of some kind where you can actually carry it and you can go from place to place. That is such an important element of this. But there's one other thing I want to talk to you about, which is, what about the other types of areas that you're in? Do you have to carry your disaster backpack everywhere you go? And the answer is no. And in future videos, I'm going to show you about how to use the 5-pocket method with things where you're just going from place to place, because you don't need to carry every little thing every place you go. But like I mentioned in other videos, do you need to have a backpack when you're at work? Yeah. Should you have one in your car? Yeah. Should you have one at home? Yeah. In fact, everywhere I go, I actually carry a sling with me. In the sling, I have just a few things in my disaster backpack that actually also go in my sling. I have a separate set of certain things that go in my sling that everywhere I go, that goes with me. I do that because it is so important for me to be able to rapidly access certain equipment and supplies anywhere I go, so that I can always evacuate, sheltering in place, and lock down. No matter what you are doing, where your backpacks go. If you're wondering whether you should put a backpack there, this is what I want you to ask yourself. Will that backpack help you evacuate, shelter in place, or lock down? And if the answer is yes, then you should have a backpack with you. Or you should leave one at work, leave one at school, leave one in your car, whatever. If you're a commuter and you live in a place where you're going on the subway all the time, do you have to carry your huge disaster backpack? No. But you can carry a smaller pouch which will allow you to evacuate to get to your big backpack. But no matter what, The other thing I want you to think about with these backpacks are, whatever you're putting them, in the end, your goal, your singular goal, is to get back to that original backpack, because that has everything you need in it to be able to protect you in a disaster. But with these backpacks, these smaller ones, they should have enough supplies and equipment in there to get you back to your original backpack. So if you're wondering what to put in there, whatever you need to put in those backpacks, if it's an extra subway card or whatever, or an extra cell phone or money or a credit card, put enough in there so you can get back to your large backpack, because remember, that is your headquarters. That is the center of your disaster preparedness. I hope these 30 days helped you. I hope that each one of these lessons really helped you to get some new ideas of some things you should be putting in these disaster backpacks. There's so many wonderful things that you can put in them. They don't have to be boring. This doesn't have to be awful. This doesn't have to be terrible. You can do this in a way that makes it so that it's so simple to do. Just follow these 30 days and everything to add in here, and continue to follow these videos, because the only thing I'm interested on this channel is giving you the tools that you need to be successful in a disaster. That's all I care about. So in the comments, please give suggestions for future videos, and of course, like and subscribe. I hope these 30 days were helpful to you in every way. I certainly enjoyed creating them for you. And so this is Disaster Patrick reminding you, prepare for a disaster and you will never, ever, ever, ever experience one.